and welcome to my channel, Infinitely Lily, Channeling Angels. I have a message today for somebody from your spirit guides. So the card that came through first here is the Four of Cups, and I don't go by the generic meaning of cards. I read energy. I just use cards as improvs in the physical, really, to kind of translate things. The meaning I'm getting from this is I'm seeing like a rabbit, and like somebody here, like you're a rabbit, you like to go fast, and I just seen a turtle. So maybe you're with somebody that's a turtle, they are slow. Okay, and sometimes you might get frustrated waiting for them, but I see that you guys have a very good tug of war that keeps you both kind of moving along. Okay, so you might have to pull him and he might have to hold you back, and back and forth, and I think that it works. Okay, Spirit's saying it works, and they're just looking at you like two like sweet little kids like, oh my gosh, they're so sweet. Okay, so this is the Four of Cups. What actually I see here is he or she or whatever this person is, you're being offered the fourth cup and you're like, no, like I have to wait. That's what I heard. Like, it's so cute that you're like, no, I know that I need to wait. Like, I don't go so fast. Okay, so what I see is that you're starting something new, and you know that you get too excited or too hyper, and you go fast, and then maybe you go too fast, and then you start to burn out, or you get out of balance, and you kind of neglect maybe your health or your mental health or your relationship or your family life, or something gets out of balance, and that's just like your extreme passionate side. And maybe you lack like earth energy in your chart, and maybe you're more fire and air, and maybe you lack some even water, just so slower moving energies, specifically earth. I'm feeling Virgo sun. Maybe you're dating a Virgo sun. I've seen 6 and 9. Summer of 69. Oh, silence now. So, yeah. And I feel like you're finally understanding that, okay, this person is good for me, and like it took you maybe a long time to like realize that. Maybe you've had a lot of hard-headedness towards each other in the relationship. This could be like your sibling or something too. Like, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship, I'm getting. And it could be like just an influential person in your life, and you're like, they're so annoying, they always slow me down, like they always take the fun out of everything. And then you're kind of like, well, I mean, maybe they do have like a little bit of truth in what they're saying. Like, maybe they are, the extreme opposite of me. Okay, this is where the message is getting good. I'm seeing this now. So they pull back when you pull too hard, and you pull hard when they pull back too hard. So you guys feed off of each other. You stress the other person out when you go too fast, and they stress you out when they go too slow. Okay, so you guys are feeding off each other, but you're kind of like guideposts for each other though. Like, hey, speed up. Okay, slow down. Speed up. And you're like this perfect little duo. I'm getting that you work really well together. And finally, but there's been this breakthrough. Okay, there's a super energy coming through here. There's been this breakthrough energy, and all these cards are coming through. So this leadership energy, change and death. Okay, so yeah, so you've made a shift, made a change, and some form of ego death occurred here when it comes to your leadership roles. Some over responsibility, over exertion energy. So there's this like deeply passionate person that I'm seeing that you are. Like, what you are and who you are, and like what you're capable of. I've seen 444. So you're deeply confident in yourself, but you do get kind of wrapped up in your passions too much that you kind of lose track of reality. So this person is here to guide you, okay? And right now you are the fourth forerunner. So they are gonna kind of stand back a few yards, and I see this rope between you guys, and like they pull back when you're going too far ahead, and they kind of keep you from falling over on your face. Keep you safe. The cops just drove by. But you are going ahead of them, okay? So feminine energy generally goes ahead of masculine energy. It's just lighter. So you might be the feminine. You know, maybe your chart is lacking feminine energy, but you are the feminine. And maybe your earth chart is masculine based, but your light energy is going ahead of the masculine. And they know that intuitively, or maybe they even know that consciously, but they're like, okay, I'll let her go first, and I'll just keep a close watch on her, make sure she's good and eating well and hydrated and sleeping enough and taking care of herself, and I'll pull the rope back when I notice that she's, going a little too hard or neglecting these certain things. I just heard Josie and I see May, so that's funny. I know the spirit's laughing, so they just think this is so cute. Anyway, so yeah, now I feel like you had this breakthrough with the energy that I said there, and you're like, okay, that's more like this. It's like this humbled energy of like, okay, like maybe they're right, like maybe they have some good pointers, and maybe I should listen to them more. And you're starting to implicate some of the things that they have, said over and over again that they're kind of really stubborn about, like consistency and routine, and lots of like just super earth energy, slow, steady, not too fast. And, well, maybe and you're trying that, okay? And I see that in your field. You're trying this earth energy out, and then you're like, oh, well, is this breaking my progress? Okay, that's the question I hear somebody saying. And Spirit's saying, no, it's not. Just because you're slowing it down does not mean it's not speeding up energetically. When something comes into balance, it goes into warp speed, okay? So the more grounded you become, the more output you're capable of, okay? So they are over grounded, and you're sometimes over ungrounded. So not to say they're right, okay? They're not right and you're not right, but you're meeting in the middle more, okay? You're right in lots of things that you're right about, and they're right about lots of things that they're right about, and now you're merging together the qualities, the good qualities, okay? And it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable, and I see you like sitting here and being like, oh, I really want to take the cup, but I'm not allowed because my, it's kind of like your dad told you not to, or whatever. That's how I'm getting. So you're like, well, I'm trying to be good and not take the cup, and it's so cute. Okay, so I see you doing that, and Spirit's just like tickled pink about how cute this is, okay? And they're like, oh, it's good job, because it's such a playful energy. Honestly, it's super playful. That's what it is. And it's such an inner child, like it's an inner child in action, really. And it's an inner child, like you're expressing your inner child, but you're grounding it with your adult self. Okay, and that's truly what's actually happening here, if I want to get like quantum on us. And I keep saying this over and over. It's always like the end message, because that is the collective message here, is like we are merging the higher and lower self at this time, the masculine and feminine, the heaven and the hell, to meet in the middle and to finally exist in our co-creative frequency of what we call Middle Earth, but the Spirit said quantum realm, which I never really thought of that, but I guess that's what it would be. And within the quantum realm is the golden ratio, and I talk about that a lot. And we're starting to unlock that because we're getting into greater and greater balance within ourselves. So your creative spirit will speed up. Not when you slow down, but when you incorporate the principles and the ideas that they sometimes give to you about like slowing down and taking care of yourself. So it doesn't mean you're slowing down, really. I mean, you are. You're becoming more mindful of the parts of you that you need to keep healthy in order to keep the progress that you have. Okay, that's what I'm getting. Okay, and that's still a leg. Okay, so the energy that we were talking about is here. What I just said is more out here. So you have like so many more layers you can grab right now that are available to you, where you could be like, okay, I'm trusting my intuition, I'm moving this energy, but I'm hyper aware of going too far, pushing it too hard, my mental health, my physical health, my relationship, my family life, my work, whatever it is, I'm aware of that. So I'm steadily moving forward, and I see this earth energy coming from you. Yeah, high priestess energy. See the balancing the black and white. Yeah, no longer stealing your energy, and a wish fulfillment. So this wish fulfillment has been essentially fulfilled by you. Like, you created your destiny, right? And that's what we all are doing. When we become actualized within ourselves, we don't manifest, we just accept what is already available, and that's when you get into true mastery and into true receptive mode. When you are still stuck in the mind, and this is going back far, but this might be for somebody, you think that you have to manifest these things and obsess about them, and it's like, oh my god, I can't even believe that people teach that stuff. It's so toxic to me. But anyway, when you become connected to yourself, when you start to integrate through the processing of fear, that's when you start to realize what's already available to you, and you start to just allow it to come. Okay, and that's the truth of reality. And when you get to that place, you get into the quantum realm, and that's when you start becoming a magnet to gold frequencies, the golden ratio, the golden timeline. Okay, so yeah, I guess I feel like the person I'm talking to is like, you're not quite at that level, but I'm saying it anyway. So there's somebody here that maybe understood that, and maybe I'm just helping to guide you to like what's next. Okay, because sometimes we get stuck in our heads and we think we're doing progress, but we're just making layers in our head. Okay, so there's one last message here. Okay, so this Ace of Wands. Okay, so yes, so you create this fairy dust the more and more imbalance you get within yourself. Okay, and that's what you're doing. You're balancing the energy of action, essentially. Okay, so you're not overaction, you're not living on impulse, you're not living so much in the now that you forget about the future. Okay, like you can't forget about your little self, right? When we're only our infinite, abundant, spiritual self, yeah, sure, we don't have to worry about the future or the past. But when we are connected to our physical vessel that is grounded in reality, and our inner child that is within us, that we need to remember like what happened in the future and what, or in the past, and why it created that. Like, okay, I worked too hard and I burnt myself out, and then I went backwards because I had to take some time off. Okay, in the future, like, what am I striving for? If I work too hard right now, like, are my pets or my family going to be taken care of? Like, those are real things. And what we are learning, what you learn when you integrate the shadow and the lower self, you learn what your limits are. Okay, so you are an infinite being with limits. Okay, your infinite being is your higher self. Your lower self is your limited self that needs to learn boundaries and discernment and self-care and self-protection and self-honor. It's a big one. I mean, those are all encompassing the same levels of self-love, right? Learning that deep self-love so that you can have the big love of universal love, but you can't have one without the other. Okay, so this is just one of those areas that you can bring into greater balance to get into greater levels of self-love. Okay, yeah, that's it. That is it, and you will be rewarded more and more and more